So it's been a minute since Jordan Brand has released a brand new performance model that could actually also double as a lifestyle model, but I think with the Air Jordan 35, they're almost there. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and today we're taking a look at the upcoming Air Jordan 35. Thanks so much for tuning in today. If you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see more content just like this. And also make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at RealSethFowler because I usually show sneak peeks of what's coming up in new videos. But like I was saying at the beginning of the video, I really do think that the Air Jordan 35 actually has some solid potential to be a decent lifestyle sneaker. Now you might be saying to yourself, why does it matter if the Air Jordan 35 is a lifestyle sneaker or a shoe that can be used as a lifestyle sneaker when it's obviously a performance shoe? And I get it. I'm not trying to say that this is the perfect everyday lifestyle sneaker, but there is something appealing about being able to wear a pair of sneakers to work or to school and then after work or school go to the court and play with your friends. And not only that, but when I think of Jordan Brand, I think of classic iconic Jordan models that you see on people's feet every day. Now to be fair, Jordan Brand has said ever since they started that their newest sneakers are meant to be top of the line performance sneakers and not everyday lifestyle sneakers. But I still think there's something to be said, and I still think it's possible to have a shoe that looks great for everyday wear and also performs really well on court. And I think that the Air Jordan 35 is the closest to that we've had from Jordan Brand for the last decade. Now just to clarify, this video is not going to be a performance review of any kind. I'll talk about how comfortable the shoe is, but I've never had a chance to play in this shoe, so I don't feel right giving you guys a performance review. However, if you would like to see a performance review of this shoe, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below, or check out any of the other performance review channels like Wear Testers or the Soul Brothers. If you're looking to grab a pair of Air Jordan 35s for yourself, they've actually already released in Asia, and they will be releasing in this colorway, the Center of Gravity colorway, in the United States on October 17th for a retail price of $180. Something that Jordan Brand always seems to love to do on their newest flagship models is give the shoe a ridiculous box. Now you might not care about this box, but I thought it was interesting, so I figured I'd talk about it. On the outside, it just looks like a standard white matte box. The only detail that really stands out on the front of the box is a sort of play on the Roman numeral 35, which is kind of cool. But when you first open the box, that's when things get kind of weird, because when you pop it open like this, the box kind of just falls apart. Which, don't get me wrong, is great, it's really cool, but it's definitely a little unnecessary, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it took me about 5 minutes to figure out how to close it. I give up. But getting back to the shoe itself, this colorway is the Center of Gravity colorway, and I'm not sure exactly why it's called that. I think they just thought it was a cool name, because the reason for this colorway has nothing to do with gravity at all. So apparently, this colorway is based on the original Air Jordan 35 tech pack. If you don't know what a tech pack is, it's essentially the blueprint or the instructions for a factory on how to create any sort of soft goods item. And usually in a tech pack, the different panels or pieces of a product are color coded so you can tell them apart. So apparently the colors used on this shoe are based on the colors in the original tech pack, and that's why they're so wild and kind of out there. Kind of seems like it has nothing to do with the name Center of Gravity. I think tech pack would have been a better name. It's actually kind of a cool name, the Air Jordan 35 Tech Pack colorway. I don't know. Usually the colors used on a tech pack are never supposed to be seen because they look ridiculous. If you haven't guessed, I don't love this colorway. I actually really dislike this colorway, but hey, the concept behind it is cool. I love that, but the execution is whack. It does, however, remind me slightly of the Bel Air Jordan 5s, which is interesting because the Air Jordan 35 is loosely based on a pair of Air Jordan 5s. And throughout this video, I'll point out the different details and lines that really call back to the Air Jordan 5 and make this shoe much more interesting than it was originally. So on the toe of the sneaker, you've actually got this pretty interesting split look. In the center of the toe, you've got this black textile material, which has this sort of plastic grid overlay. The plastic grid pattern actually reminds me a lot of the tongue of the Air Jordan 4, and I know this shoe is supposed to mimic the Air Jordan 5 or loosely mimic the Air Jordan 5, but it's really giving me Air Jordan 4 vibes. On either side of the shoe, you've got this really nice gray suede detail, which I actually really love and is one of the reasons why I think this shoe can be much more of a lifestyle sneaker than something like the Air Jordan 34. For me, and I think for a lot of you, the thing that draws us to classic Jordan models are the use of classic materials like leathers and suedes. And if you look at a newer performance model like last year's Air Jordan 34, for example, this shoe isn't meant to be a lifestyle sneaker at all. All they use are really thin textile materials materials to save weight and just to be better on court. And while that's great, I don't have a problem with that at all. I just prefer the newer shoe, the Air Jordan 35, because of the premium material usage. It just makes this shoe feel more substantial. It makes it feel like you're getting more for your money, and it makes it a better looking shoe overall. Now personally, my dream Air Jordan 35 would look very similar to this, except rather than having any of these textiles and these overlays, you'd have all suedes and leathers. Actually, I just thought about it. This shoe looks kind of like the Shaqnosis, and that shoe is kind of covered in those same materials. So maybe the Shaqnosis is my dream Air Jordan 35. Yikes. No, but in all seriousness, I do think that the Air Jordan 35 is a nice compromise between performance and lifestyle wear. And I think that's mainly due to the use of these more premium feeling materials. As you continue up in the shoe, you've got this bright blue textile tongue, which also has this sort of plastic overlay. And just above that, you've got these orange lace loops that actually have these flat black laces, which feature some sort of like sparkly detail, which I can't tell if it's 3M or if it's just like sparkly crap. I have no idea. I love the shape of the Air Jordan 35, but I'm just really not in love with this colorway. As you may have already noticed, the shape of the top of the tongue is the first detail that mimics the Air Jordan 5. You've got your Jumpman logo in the center, which looks like it's embroidered because of these lines, but it's actually just sort of a plastic detail. The tongue itself is actually much thinner than an Air Jordan 5 tongue, which I actually really like because it makes it easier for you to get your foot into the shoe. The sock liner of the shoe comes in this bright salmon colored mesh with these really large ankle pillows, which I actually really love. Another callback to the Air Jordan 5, which you may have already noticed, is the shape at the top of the ankle collar. It's not exactly the same, mainly because the Air Jordan 5's ankle collar is asymmetrical and this one's symmetrical, but it's still very similar. Rounding off the inside of the shoe, you've got this teal insole with this orange and red pattern that kind of mimics the pattern stitched into the tongue of the shoe. As far as sizing and fit is concerned, the Air Jordan 35 fits very true to size and feels incredible on foot. The padding around the upper of the shoe feels great and much more substantial than the 34s, which I really appreciate. And as we'll get to a little bit later, the cushioning in the midsole is also pretty great. Continuing back in the midfoot of the shoe, you've got this flight wire panel, which is very similar to Flywire, except it's Jordan Brand's version of it. To be honest with you, I don't know the exact purpose of it. I'm sure it's there for a performance application, maybe durability or hugging your foot or breathability. I have no idea, but I honestly think the main reason they used it was because it's unique looking. And I guess to be fair, it definitely is. I think it's a really nice looking detail both on the lateral and the medial side of the shoe, and it separates this shoe from any previous Jordan models. Well, I guess actually it does have a very Air Jordan 12 vibe to it, which I actually don't mind. Just above that, you've got this iridescent panel that sort of connects the two different suede panels and has a black Jumpman on it. Moving towards the heel of the shoe, you've got a suede heel counter, which actually features the 23 detail, which again is a callback to the Air Jordan 5. Just above that, you've got this gray, plasticky feeling textile mesh, which actually provides some really nice support for the ankle, which I really like. And then finally, moving around to the heel of the shoe, you'll notice that there's one more very bright detail, and that's this neon green tab. This tab is sort of the last callback to the Air Jordan 5. On one side, you've got the Nike Air branding, and on the other side, you've got a Jumpman. Moving down on the sneaker to the most obvious detail, you've got the Eclipse plate 2.0. I've always loved the Eclipse plate, not so much for its performance, but the fact that you can actually kind of see through it, which I think is pretty cool, and it makes the shoe look very futuristic. On this particular colorway, this Eclipse plate comes in this sort of candy finish and fades from purple to pink towards the bottom. The rest of the midsole comes in black foam and actually surrounds a bottom-loaded Zoom Air unit in the heel and an unlocked bottom-loaded Zoom Air unit in the forefoot. And actually, if you look through the Eclipse plate, you can see the Zoom Air units on the forefoot and on the heel. And then finally, rounding off the sneaker, you've got this herringbone traction pattern on this thin rubber outsole. To be honest with you, this is probably more of an inside performance shoe than an outside performance shoe. It probably wouldn't last that long if you were playing on pavement. The Air Jordan 35 is a solid step forward and iterative improvement on the Air Jordan 34. I love the more premium feeling suedes that they used on this shoe, and I actually love the shape of the silhouette. I think their design team knocked the silhouette out of the park. This colorway though definitely leaves a little bit to be desired. It's not something that I would wear casually, but I love that the Air Jordan 35 has that potential. And actually, a shoe that I'm very excited about is the Fragment Air Jordan 35, which is truly a lifestyle Air Jordan 35. But those are pretty much all my initial thoughts on the upcoming Air Jordan 35. Now, I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.